Yeah, can you hear me?
Hi, Courtney.
Hi, sorry guys, I'm doing double duty or I'd be on camera right now. I'm Courtney Ward. I'm a licensed master social worker in Missouri who has a passion for sports and started an organization called Beyond Sports Kansas City to bring accessible sports to entertainment inner Kansas City families. So that's me.
Awesome. Welcome. So glad you're here.
Yeah, I will say when I type in that code on Menti, it says it's not valid. I am on my phone, so I can't scan the QR code. Is there a different
Hmm.
code I should try?
Hmm. Don't
Let me
know.
try.
Don't know. Don't know.
Huh.
Well,
You're right. I just typed it in and it didn't work either.
we're all full of typos today.
The
Ustav,
thing
are
is,
you
like,
are you online? Can you say hello? I'm not sure these are real people. That's why I'm curious.
what about this one?
So, Courtney,
How are you? Doing good?
Hi, sorry if you're talking to me. This is USTA Heart of America.
USTA Heart of America.
And I do have to leave a few minutes early, so I apologize about that.
That's where were you able to get on the Menti?
Let me try. Yep.
Cool.
Oops.
Awesome. And USTA tennis, correct?
Yes, USTA tennis.
Awesome. So glad to have you join us. Um, I hope it's a productive meeting. We have a great agenda. We're giving a little bit more time to some people to show up, but maybe we might just start working through this. If we can't use Menti and we only have the two of us, I'd love to hear more about how we tie Beyond Sports and USTA Kansas City Tennis into what we're trying to do with the sports sector. It's great to have new people come. We expected to have 4 or 5 others join us today. And, people get busy and it's not top of mind. So we're going to continue to try to promote the sports sector as the sector that is leading the engagement with the Aspen Institute and is helping craft exactly what the Aspen Institute is um, going to say about our city in terms of youth sports engagement and what's happening with our uh, youth sports scene throughout the city. And there's some other things that we'd love to share with new people about what the sports sector has tried to do. Have both of you had a chance to look at the sports sector strategies that we put in place that are part of the comprehensive Kansas City Fiscal Activity Plan and the Move Together KC promotion campaign?
Yes.
Okay.
I've briefly looked at them. Probably could do a better deep dive.
Yeah, they're kind of actually I wish they were a little tighter. They're well said, but they're a lot of words. It's like um basically 26 and 27 are kind of how we're focused our attention and time right now in trying to um use those two strategies. So those are the two most important ones to us as we engage with the Aspen Institute. Robin, I don't know if there's anything else you want to say to kind of welcome our two new guests, but um, it's nice to have you both.
Yes, excuse me, sorry. Um, Yeah, if you want, I can provide a little bit more background if we have time. I don't know. Is now a good time in the agenda to do
Yeah,
it?
I mean, I think so. I think it's important with two new people to bring them into the fold and get their heads kind of wrapped around exactly what we're trying to do. Mohammed? He just texted me back. I guess he's from Virginia Beach, sports scientist and physical therapist.
Do you want me to skip the Mentimeter? It was mostly feedback on the summit.
Correct. Were both of you at the summit? Yes and yes?
Yes.
Okay.
I was not, unfortunately. I learned about it too late.
Oh, no. Have you had some familiarity with the Aspen Institute and their Project Play? Do you know
Yeah.
about? Okay.
Yeah, I'm actually in a sport social work like certification program through Tulane. And the professors they talk about Aspen all the time. So yes, I'm familiar.
Okay, and Beyond Sports is a national nonprofit. Are you part of that national nonprofit?
No, ours is just Beyond Sports Kansas City.
Okay,
Yeah, not a chapter.
okay. And are you familiar with the work of the Kansas City Physical Activity Plan or what Children's Mercy Hospital is trying to do with the plan, or is this kind of new to you too?
New. It's
Okay,
all new.
awesome. Well, like I said, we're so welcome. My name's Bill Brandmeier. I run a nonprofit that helps inner city kids play sports similar to what you do, and it would be great to learn more about your organization as we go along and talk about things that we found that work and don't work. Mostly, what I found in the 5 years that I've been trying to weaponize sports to help kids is that we're dealing with really two issues: a major gap in the opportunities that under-resourced kids have compared to kids with resources, and then also a broken sports system, which our kids are failing our kids, and our kids are experiencing negative outcomes and falling out of sports and dropping out of sports at early ages because they're not having the kind of experience that we would want them to have to make their lives better. And so my engagement with the Kansas City Physical Activity Plan and the sports sector specifically is in partnership with another co-lead, Adrian Roberson, who runs a nonprofit in Kansas City, Kansas. Is we are trying to lead the use of sports to help kids continue to become physically active, but also looking at the whole sports landscape and trying to make it a better experience for kids. And it was discussed about 2 years ago that if the Aspen Institute would come to Kansas City and perform a community report like they've done in 13 other cities, that would be a really great launching point for our city to really enact change and secure funding and to really direct our purpose and our passion into kids in the right way with data and with some sort of formalized plan. And as the community report has done in other cities, we feel like it's kind of a benchmark or a moment in time where we can actually produce something that everyone can rally around and understand, and then we can maybe get some of the philanthropic dollars that go to help develop kids, get them kind of channeled into helping kids with the power of sports. Does that make sense? Any questions?
Yeah.
Do you want to throw the agenda up, Natalie, just so we have a little framework as we move forward?
Sure.
So Natalie and I and Robin and Adrian met on Monday to put together the agenda. And one of the things we wanted to do was get reaction from the Youth Sports Summit and get a feel for what people took away from that. Our hope was that we'd have 10 people here discussing this. So we set it up so that we would have a way of doing Post-it notes. We have this really cool software that allows us to kind of let people post their thoughts up on post-it notes. And I think we're going to forego that since it's the three of us and Robin and Natalie, and just kind of get through this meeting in a way that we make sure that you guys walk away feeling like you want to come back. Because that's the most important piece of this, is that we find people within the community that have similar passions and want to collaborate and work with the other sectors in the Kansas City Fiscal Activity Plan to enact change. And so there's multiple opportunities for us, not only to talk about what needs to happen, but also submit requests for funding for things to happen too. And so I think that it's a unique opportunity for you guys to be more informed. If we wanted to do a tennis camp this summer at Wyandotte High School, and we thought that that was a great idea, then we could submit that to the Kansas City Fiscal Activity Plan and let them know that we wanted to try to build something out this summer for a week at a school that needs help. Would like to introduce tennis to kids who've never had tennis rackets in their hands. We could request some help to fund that kind of thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Robin, do you want to add anything or kind of round out anything I've said, since I've just kind of spewed?
No, no problem. Do you want here? I can do my bit on the KCPA plan if you want.
Sweet.
Oh, you've got it, Natalie. Okay, great, perfect. Okay, so go ahead and skip this slide. Next slide. So Natalie and I work for Children's Mercy Hospital. We work for a program called the Kansas City Healthy Lifestyles Collaborative. We're the backbone organization for the Kansas City Physical Activity Plan. The Kansas City Physical Activity Plan has been around about 4 years. It's based on a national physical activity plan. And what it provides is a structure that is a framework that is comprehensive, multi-sector collaboration with the goal of creating safe and equitable opportunities to live an active life in Kansas City. So how we kind of think of it is we have this big giant thing that's the Kansas City Physical Activity Plan. Within the plan are 10 what we call societal sectors. And I'll show those in just a minute. Within each societal sector, there are specific strategies, which are kind of overarching strategies to create opportunities to live an active life. And then each strategy has many 5 to 10 specific tactics, which are actionable items, which would, if accomplished, would accomplish the strategy. And then, of course, at the heart of all of it is actually implementing the strategies that we've developed. So you can find out lots of information on our website. Everything that we do is posted there, kcphysicalactivityplan.org. Yeah, thanks. Okay, next slide. So here are the 10 sectors where we have strategies developed. And these are designed to basically cover all the things we do throughout a week, for example. So there are schools, we have a school sector, healthcare, parks and recreation, sport, mass media, infrastructure, faith-based settings, public health, early childhood, and business. And then if you look on there, there are individual names under each sector. Those are community partners who are serving as leads or co-leads for the sectors. So for example, as Bill said, the sports sector is led by Bill and Pastor Adrian Roberson from KC United. If you think about these sectors, over the course of a week, you probably touch almost all of them. So for example, today I took my daughter to and dropped her off at daycare where she's spending her day. Yesterday, we took my other daughter to her pediatrician. Obviously, we're all at work today, so there's business and industry. To get there, we utilized the city's infrastructure. So the roads, sidewalks, bike lanes, things like that. Over the course of the week, like I said, you probably touch on all of these different things. So all of these different sectors. And so all the work that we're doing within the sports sector is being replicated 10 times over in all of these other sectors. And so quickly you can see that if each sector makes some changes to create opportunities to live an active life, soon that is touching us in multiple different venues throughout the course of our week. And that's kind of the power of having a Kansas City physical activity plan. Okay, next slide, please. Here are all the strategies that we've developed so far. There are 40 as of today, and there are going to be, Natalie, how many more are going to be added for business and industry? 5? Somewhere around 5 or 6? Yeah, so we'll soon, business and industry is the last sector we're bringing online. And so there's 5 or 6 more that we're going to add. So there's going to be about 45 strategies, and they're organized on this slide right here by color, which represents the different sectors. There's so many, you can't read them, of course. So you can, if you want to look more at the other sectors, you can look at kcphysicalactivityplan.org. Here are the sports sector strategies. Strategy 23 is about access to sports. 24 is about creating policies that support non-competitive aspects around sports. So promoting health, promoting physical literacy, promoting mental health, participant growth, not things that are associated with winning a basketball game or winning a football, the non-competitive benefits of sports participation. 25 is about creating safe and inclusive environments to participate in sports. 26 and 27 are kind of companion strategies. They're about creating regional entities that can promote policies for promoting physical activity within sports and all the benefits of sports. 28 is about minimizing injury risk. 29 is about making sure that we collect enough data or the proper data so we know if there's progress is being made around youth sports. And 30 is about using technology to improve sports. So next slide. So there are 8 strategies and 30 total tactics. I'm not going to show all of them just because you'll quickly get the point. But here are 3 of the strategies and the tactics that are associated with them. So let's just look at, for example, strategy 23. That's the strategy around expanding access. So that's kind of the overarching strategy. And the tactics of how to do that is to use data to identify populations who are at risk for physical inactivity, identifying barriers, and developing specific initiatives to address those disparities. Tactic 2 is to prioritize community-based, meaning like neighborhood-based, not out-of-town travel, affordable forms of organized play, such as in-town leagues, and continuing to offer them not just in kids under 12, having this continue all the way through adolescence and even into adulthood. Tactic 3 is about creating opportunities for free and loosely supervised play. Tactic 4 is about incorporating sports activities into before and after school programming. So you can see how this is a ready-made kind of toolkit that anyone can really, if they're interested in this, can do on their own, or they can partner with us in the sports sector to do them with our group. Go ahead, next slide. And the way that we're doing it right now, implementing these strategies right now, is through our partnership with the Aspen Institute. So this is a year-long partnership. It started last fall and will continue through this fall. You can find more about Aspen on projectplay.org. Go ahead, next slide. Aspen really focuses on what they call 8 plays. And if you look at the 8 plays, they overlap very nicely with the strategies that I mentioned for the Kansas City Physical Activity Plan. You know, asking kids what they want to do, free play, encouraging sports sampling, in town opportunities. Think Small is about neighborhood-based sports opportunities. Designed for Development is all around physical literacy and making sure activities that children and adolescents are doing are age appropriate. 7 is about training coaches, and 8 is around that injury prevention. So again, lots of overlap with what Aspen is doing nationally and what we're trying to do locally. So that's why we felt, as Bill said, this is a natural fit to do this year-long partnership. Go ahead. At the end of the partnership, they're going to release a report this is the State of Play Oakland report. Ours will be State of Play Kansas City. It'll include lots of data and what they call game changers, which is specific steps that they think are the highest leverage opportunities. So, you know, it can get lost in our 8 strategies and 30 tactics, what to do first. And that's what Aspen is going to come in, and they're going to say, well, you know, we think that these things are going to be what's important. In Oakland, they really wanted to highlight school-based sports opportunities. In Kansas City, it may be something different, and it likely will be something different because every community is different. Go ahead, next slide. Here's the next slide. And here's the timeline for this year-long partnership. So the fall was spent developing and administering the youth survey, which is a 28-item survey that approximately 4,300 kids in the Kansas City region completed. And if you remember, they shared some of that preliminary data at the summit a couple weeks ago. So we have some data that's been collected. We had the summit, the State of Play Summit on April 8th, where we talked about the data and the other things that you see here, barriers to access, youth spotlights, and ideas to move forward. So that summit was really key in this year-long partnership, because now we've gotten feedback from a lot of different stakeholders, and the Aspen team is taking that now and drafting their State of Play Kansas City report. A preliminary report is going to be shared back to our advisory group in June, and a final report will be available in, we believe, September of this year. So what we're doing, what the sports sector is doing right now leading up to that, is supporting Aspen as they do their work. So we did a lot of work getting out the survey. We did a lot of help with summit planning. And now we're kind of in the period following the summit where we're just kind of waiting for Aspen to kind of generate and aggregate their ideas. But there are still opportunities for people to contribute through forums like this. And I'll just kind of stop there. Does anyone have any questions about what I just shared? And if not, this might be a good lead into, I think, the next item, which was just discussion on the summit itself.
No questions. That's all really, really great information. Really happy to be here because you guys are exactly what I'm looking for.
Hooray. Well, yeah, we hope there's a place here for you and that we can learn from you too. Obviously a lot has gone into this, and thanks to Robin and his team, it's continuing to gain momentum and grow. And it's kind of sad that a lot of people haven't heard of the Kansas City Physical Activity Plan, but we are starting, the mass media kind of came online last year. They're now called Communications and Promotions or something, but we actually changed their name. But they put together this Move Together KC kind of branding identity package, and it launched in January, and it's starting to be recognized as Move Together KC is kind of this shareable idea, and all the different groups are coming together. We had a really great core meeting. So the core group of sectors meets once a month and talks about how each sector is doing and talks about how we might work together to keep pushing forward these ideas. And so it's kind of a growing, you're kind of at the ground floor with us. And we haven't really, all we've done is thought through some things and have some really great advice. One of the things that has happened that we haven't really shared out and we haven't finalized yet is another research project that was funded by the Kansas City Royals in partnership with Children's Mercy that Robin has led, where we've done a map of the city and identified where all the different places you can get physical activity are available to parents and to any young person that's looking for physical activity. And as we put that map out, I haven't seen preliminary results, but I can guess that there's going to be some real discrepancies between the amount of physical activity you can get in certain areas of the city and the amount of physical activity that's available to other areas of the city. And it's going to paint a picture for us to where we might need to focus our attention. And that might be really the information that would be very valuable to an organization like Beyond Sports KC. So there's a lot happening. There's also, a feeling of the more the merrier, and this is a collaborative process and cross-sector pollination of ideas. And as we get the Aspen Institute to bring national ideas forward and talk about their national plan and localize their national plan to specifically deal with what's happening here in Kansas City, we hope that we can transform a lot of minds and get a lot of people on board. And so having both of you today join us, and Mohammed, you coming from Florida, is great. But this is a local effort, obviously, to make change here in Kansas City. So feedback from the Aspen Institute Project Place Summit is the next item on the agenda. Is that correct?
Yes. Wondering how you want to do that.
Well,
Do you want me to?
yeah, maybe we just ask my 4 questions. I mean, we have this thing. I don't know if we want to. I'd just like to hear. We only have one person that attended besides you, me, and Robin. So maybe we hear from USTA. What? I'm sorry, I didn't get your first name. USTA. Kansas.
Rebecca.
Rebecca. Hi, Rebecca. And
Hi.
what's your position with USTA?
I'm the executive director for Heart of America.
Oh my gosh, that's fantastic.
Thank you.
Does everything you've heard so far make you weary of joining us or excited about joining us?
Excited.
Oh, good.
I am going to disclose though, I need to leave in about 5 minutes. I have a board meeting tonight I'm trying to prep for.
Okay, gotcha. Anything that we could do for you is there anything you're going to share with the board about the Aspen Institute, or anything that we could add to to help inform your board of what's happening with this plan or this project, or is that something for a later date?
That's something for a later date.
Okay, great.
Yep, I believe the section ED was also there, so I believe she's gonna talk about that as well.
Well, if you ever want to have a breakout conversation about things and about what we're doing, I would be open to that. My name's Bill Brandmeier. My email address is bill@sharewaysfoundation.org. And you're welcome to set up a time that I could come and meet with you. I think tennis and pickleball and the whole idea of getting kids having fun around the game of tennis is a fantastic opportunity to get kids physically active, and we would love to keep having engagement with you guys and figure out how we can help you raise money, but also raise awareness and bring more kids into the game of tennis. We do consider tennis, or I do in my mind, a country club sport, but it is such a universal game, and the rise of tennis has been phenomenal since COVID. We know that, and it's just one of those games that you can play for a lifetime. So we're big fans.
Awesome,
We
good
just
to hear.
reviewed this application at our core work group meeting yesterday.
Would you? Oh yeah, what was that? Why don't you share that with her
It's in-
before she leaves?
I'm
Was it
not
with-
as involved in the project, so I don't know the details, but it was opportunity for access to tennis, I think in the Bonner Springs area.
Yes,
Yeah.
Bonner Springs is doing a tennis activation event. Tatum, through their Parks and Rec department, has been very involved, and they, for the first time ever, are really bringing tennis to their community with the coach Matt Dow. So we're heading out there on May 29th, and there's going to be a massive tennis activation event that I'm thrilled to be a part of, and it's great for the district to provide tennis to that area, part of America.
Well, I think we approved some funding for that event yesterday.
Yes, awesome. Good to hear. Yeah, they got, I believe they also applied for a grant, for us as well to make it, possible, but I'm very excited. I'll be heading out to that event. And it's National Tennis Month, so they wanted to kind of tie it all together.
Oh, cool. Would you be able to share details of that with us so we can put that out into our newsletter?
Yeah, I don't know if I have the flyer, but I don't know if it's public yet because she was editing
Okay.
it. But it is going to be May 29th. I believe it starts in the morning, and I can email this as well. But I believe it is a morning to afternoon event, and it's mainly, I think that each child that comes like gets a racket or a can of balls or something like that. There's been multiple conversations about it, but just is really introducing tennis to their community.
And Shareways is all about sharing this information out to the Kansas City public, and we have a relationship with 810 WHB Sports Talk radio station, and we could share it out that way too. So maybe you can hit us up,
Okay.
offline.
Yeah, once I get the approval from Tatum, because we're trying to get a proclamation too from the mayor to declare National Tennis Month.
Oh, cool.
I was gonna follow up with her again next week, just to confirm all the details. So I'll reach out to her about this as well, and then we can hopefully spread the word.
Okay, I love it. Well, thank you for joining us. Good luck tonight with your board.
Thank you.
We appreciate
Bye.
it. And we'll just focus on Courtney here. All right, Courtney, it's just you and me.
All right.
Tell us a little bit about Beyond Sports KC and what you guys have been able to accomplish and where you're struggling. What's keeping you up at night?
Yeah, so I will be really transparent. This is something very, very new. And we're right now just trying to get a donation for sports bras and water bottles, and connecting with people in the Kansas City area to be drop-off locations. So I'm just trying to start something. So that's why I'm so happy that I somehow found this. Because I didn't know anything like this was happening in Kansas City. So that's where my idea came from. So I'm excited to
Awesome.
partner with people and maybe jump on some initiatives and some things that are already happening, because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just
Okay.
doing stuff.
Well, I love it. Will you, Natalie can help share some information about some equipment and specialty item collection process that we're actually starting up with the Parks and Rec and the Kansas City corporate challenge. We had an event on Friday. We collected about 170 items for kids. I think sports bras was one of the items we tried to collect, but they have started to identify some distribution points for those items. So it's something that we would love to have your passion and, possible, thoughts, collaborative effort, maybe leadership if you're inclined, but these are the kind of things that we are trying to continue to do. These are the tactical executions of our strategies that are so critical as we move forward. It's time for us to do some things, and these are the kind of things we're trying to do. And we have it all, and we have people that'll help, and Children's Mercy is a great brand to attach ourselves to, and we're so excited for that. But we really would be excited to partner with you. And then on a sidebar, I would love to talk to you more about what it is you're finding that is bringing you to this idea, and how I can share with you my 5 years of experience around similar ideas, and cross-pollinate and collaborate and think about how we might work together, because there are some things that I've learned in 5 years that I think would help you, and I'm sure there's some things you're finding that could help me. So
Yeah,
Um,
that'd be amazing.
okay. Robin, would you add anything? I don't think there's much more to do here. The purpose of today's meeting was different than it ended up, but I think we got some things done, so I feel good about it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think, yeah, if there's no other questions, I think we can.
I would
give people
say
some-
for Courtney,
some
you
time.
can listen to this feedback, coming away from the Aspen Institute Project Play Summit. I was really encouraged by the turnout, really encouraged by the people who came to be in the room. Was super impressed with hearing from the kids. I think one of the voices that we've actually probably not tapped into as much as we should as Kansas City Physical Activity Plan is the voices of the kids we're trying to serve. It's the number one initiative from the Aspen Institute is to ask kids what they want. And we are doing that through the state of play research that's being done, which is awesome, but probably getting some of those smart kids that presented in front of us to talk to us a little bit would be huge. And I don't know how we would do that, but there are kids out there with voices that are strong and they know what's going on and they have advice for parents. It was pretty cool. And the other thing, this idea of a regional entity that helps not only bring attention to what the Aspen Institute's doing, but helps distribute funding to programs like Beyond Sports KC. I think we really need to think about this as a group and think about what this looks like and what are the steps. The sooner we start thinking about this, the better, I think, because I think ultimately when you look at what Play Equity Fund in LA is doing, Kansas City could have something very similar to that. And I think if we started thinking about that, we could take it to the World Cup 2026 group and say, look, this is where we've done the research, we have the people, we have this in place, this is what we want to do, will you help fund this and possibly get some funding from the World Cup 2026 to create this entity. That's just my thought.
Courtney, since you missed the presentation, what I have on the screen was responses for our youth survey. I'd be happy to send you that data if you're interested in looking through this presentation.
Yes, please. Did you guys collect data on the attendees who attended? Like where they were from and like that kind of
We
thing?
do
Yeah,
have we have a list of attendees, and we
Okay.
had all 4 sports teams there. So the Chiefs, the Royals, Sporting KC. We had the former president of the KC Current, though we didn't have a current KC Current currently. Easy for me to say. We had the Kansas City Sports Commission. Actually, we had Kathy Nelson speak. She was one of the speakers. Frank White was there. We had the news there. We had obviously representatives from Children's Mercy Hospital all over the place. The president of Home Field was there, which was awesome. Leaders from the nonprofit communities of different nonprofits were there. The head of the new Kansas City volleyball, the president of the new Kansas City volleyball, professional volleyball team was there. So yeah, it was pretty, it was good. We had social workers there. There was probably 75 people, Natalie. Did we get a final number?
I think 86.
86 people. So
Wow.
we were hoping for, I think we had room for 200, or maybe
Our goal was 100.
our goal was 100. So we didn't quite get our goal, but a lot of people, it was the eclipse day too. So that kind of,
Mm.
I think it jacked us. I would have to say it had to jack us a little bit. But we did all enjoy the eclipse together. So that was kind of cool too.
I'm gonna hop off, guys. You guys can stay
Okay.
on now,
Oh,
okay?
we're good. Yeah, go ahead. Bye,
Bye.
Robin. Thank you. All right. Courtney, will you email me?
Yes,
have
we
got
can
my-
connect.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Thank you
my,
again
Um,
for having me.